Hello everyone, this is Ariana. Today a video on how to heal this boss concerning Shriekwing, the first boss of Castle Nathria in Mythic difficulty. This isn't going to be a strategy guide but a guideline explaining how you need to prepare this boss as a healer and how you should establish your healing rotation and more importantly why. Use the comment section for any question or constructive criticism. You can also reach out to me via my Twitch channel, the link is in the description down below. Now let's get to work. First of all, this is not a healing intensive fight. You can go through the entire encounter without using a single red-white cooldown. I'm gonna list the abilities that are important to have in mind and then I'll explain why they are important and how you should be handling them. The first ability is the Wave of Blood. The Wave of Blood is a red-white damage that's non-avoidable. It does a small tick of damage, then a dot. The second ability is the Collocation. That's the thing that will drop the pool of blood under your feet. This is a heavy damage on targeted player that can overlap with the Wave of Blood. That's a very important information. It can overlap with the Wave of Blood. The third ability is the Blind Swipe. That's basically a targeted frontal. Because of the Eco Screech management, you will have your entire raid stack up, which means people will get hit by it. You'll have to get them back up. And the last ability, which is the most important one, is the Blood Lantern. You should have to deal with it only during the intermission and a few seconds after it. Blood Lantern will apply blood light to people. Blood light will allow you to see the Eco Screech on the ground, but having the blood light is a debuff, and as a debuff it deals ticking damage, and blood light is a stackable ability. So if you mismanage the Blood Lantern, you will basically get heavy ticking damage raid wide that can overlap with anything. So I'd recommend to use first a cooldown on Wave of Blood on some of them, not each. You can soft heal it, but using a cooldown will make you save a lot of mana and you'll be able to mana burn through the Bloodlight debuff. And the second important thing is if you are between 8 and 10 stacks of Bloodlight after an intermission, use an intensive healing cooldown, like Wings, something like that. If you are over 10 stacks, I'd recommend a red-white damage reduction, such as Powered Barrier or Aura Mastery. Basically, there are two things that can kill people on this fight. Well, three, but the third one is obvious. The first one, that's the overlap of Echolocation and Wave of Blood. The targeted players can die if they don't receive healing. If they die, it's your fault. The second thing that can kill people is the Bloodlight if you're over 8 stacks, and that overlaps with the Wave of Blood. Both ability combined deals a high amount of damage depending on Bloodlight stacks. So basically, these two things is Echolocation. Prioritize your healing to the targeted player when a Wave of Blood occurs. And the second thing is when you have Bloodlight active, use a cooldown even if you feel like you don't need to, just because there is nothing else that requires it. So don't hold on to it for no reason. The third obvious thing that can cause people to die is the slack. If you slack into a pool of blood, you'll obviously die from the taking damage. So this wouldn't be your fault as a healer. I hope this will help people understanding how the healing function on this fight. This is not a hard boss as a healer, not at all. This is basically a mechanic boss that just deals damage because it has to, but nothing really dangerous. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope it will help you get this boss killed. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up, and if you want more, subscribe. Do never forget, the wind doesn't kill people, only slacking does.